Good morning, everyone. How is everybody? We have 2 minutes to go. Can somebody confirm that you can hear me and you can see my screen? Thank you, Midler. Thank you so much. Okay. Please type in your questions in chat area or directly speak up. We still have 1 minute to go. Okay, it is 12 o'clock. I want to respect your time. Hello and welcome to week 12 of Math 1095. Just a reminder, some upcoming important deals. Okay, we have 10% case study due next week, April the 3rd. You have multiple attempts. The highest mark will be recorded. And today, I will use the case study questions as example. Hello, Corey. Good to see you online. So today we'll do lots of questions. Through the questions, we study the concept and the techniques. Okay. And then all the MyLab cues. So quiz 9 is due next week. Today we'll finish chapter 14. Today we'll finish chapter 14. Okay. Our last important item is the final exam, April 17th, during the scheduled class time, final exam. Okay. Okay, so 2 more quizzes, 1 case we've done for our course. Today we finish chapter 14. Next week we finish chapter 16, not chapter 15, just chapter 16. Okay, so last week we did our test 2. Some students request to review test 2. I have thought it is a great idea. The reason is our final exam, it is comprehensive, include everything from week 1 to week 14. So test 2 is the important part for final exam. And today we also go case study questions as example for chapter 14. Okay. Okay. If your test 2 mark is higher than your test 1 mark, I will replace your test 1 mark with your test 2 mark. Okay. And vice versa. If your test 1 mark is higher than your test 2 mark, I will replace your test 2 mark with your test 1 mark. So pick higher of your test 1, test 2. That is the deal. Okay. So I hope you will focus on what is coming up. What is coming up is a 10% case study. See, 10% case study. And also 2 more quizzes, quiz 9, quiz 10. Each is 1%, as well as the final exam. Those are the coming up.
Excuse me, Professor.
Okay.
Hi, Professor.
Hello, Issy. Good to see you.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. Okay.
So I was going to ask a question. What if your test 2 mark is lower than your test 1 mark? What happens?
I will replace your test 2 mark with your test 1 mark.
Okay, because test 2 was very complicated for me and
Yeah, okay.
I got on the right note.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Remember, this is a mathematics course. It demands higher accuracy and it demands independence, means think about test situation. Okay, you are not given any guidance, any hint. The question is just thrown at you and you solve the question. So how do you best prepare for the test for final exam? After each class, redo the examples in class. Consider the example in class as the final exam question. Can you do it independently without looking at the solution? That is the question. And you do this for each and every question until you feel comfortable without looking at solution. You can solve the question by yourself correctly and accurately. Okay. And remember, for each lecture, average students need to spend 10 hours outside the classroom to be comfortable with the course content. So how many hours have you spent each week for this course? Did you spend 10 hours? No, they're not enough. Okay. Okay. And after class, please email me for specific questions. And during class, please stop me at any time, ask any questions through the chat or directly speak up. Okay. One question types were completely different than the quizzes in class. Okay. Mandarin, I got what you said. You think it is completely different, but they are similar. For example, in class, if I give you question 2 plus 3, during the test, I ask you 5 plus 7. That are similar questions. Okay. So you need to practice more. Practice, and practice. Okay. Okay, so now I repeat the agenda for today. 1, I will go over test 2 questions. Okay. Hi, Ta Cherry. Good. Nice to see you. So I'll review test 2 questions and then I will go the question from the quiz. I will go the questions from the case study. Okay, I will consider those as example to complete chapter 14 for today. So that is the agenda for today. Okay, and once again, please type in your question in chat area. I'm closely monitoring the chat or directly speak up. Okay. So everyone, you ready for test 2 questions? Okay, Corey, great. Case study multiple times, the highest mark will be recorded. And then we have, all right, so we go question 1 by 1. Let's get my pen ready. So, okay, I try following. Okay. How can we review our thank you, Mazga. You cannot review your question That's the reason I put out test 2 questions here, okay? For security reasons, those questions may be changed a little bit, reused for next semester. So this is the chance you review test 2. I will go each and every question in detail as a way to review. Thank you, Mazgan, to ask that question. Okay. So to answer your question. Okay, so question 1, we ready? A car purchased for 3,700 down. Try to. Not sure why I cannot use my pen. Give me 1 second. I cannot use my pen. Okay. Go back to there. Maybe I will close it. Try again. Maybe open it. Go on this. Okay, test 2. Okay. Try to make sure I can write down. Okay, now I can write it down. Great. With my pen. All right. So question 1 in test 2. A car was purchased for 3,700 down and the payment 394. So this is PMT. Payment at the end, so computer at the end mode. For each month, payment each month means PY equal to 12. For 6 years, okay, 6 years means term N equal to 6 times 12 equal to 72. Okay, interest 2% means that is IY. Compounded quarterly means CY equal to 4. And the question asks you, what was the purchase price? So the purchase price should be the present value plus down payment 3,700. Purchase price equal to present value plus 3,700. Okay. Thank you, Tavia. Great. So now we need to calculate PV, present value. Remember, we need 4 numbers. Each time when you enter computer, you need 4 numbers. Okay. So PMT should be negative 394. This is 1 number. Term N 72. Interest IY. Okay. There are 3 numbers here. And PV is 0, FV is 0. So I have 4 boxes. See, box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4 represent the 4 numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to use my calculator. Please pull out your calculator. Okay. Try to arrange my screen so that you will see both the calculator and the question. Let me see, maybe I will move this way. And then move the calculator over here so that you see both the calculator and the question. So we are ready. So first, make sure your calculator is at END end. Okay. So always start with second quit. I don't have anything on top right corner. That means it is end. And then set PY12, CY4. So second PY12, enter. Down arrow key, CY4, enter. Second quit. Any questions so far? Okay, PY12, CY4. After that, enter 394 as negative number. 394 negative PMG. $72 term N2 is IY 0 FV 0 FV compute PV. Okay, so PV I got $26,713.71. So this is my PV. Okay, after you calculate your PV, add this present value with 3,700, and the result is here. The result is here, $30,413.71. That is question.
Why are we adding the down payments, Professor?
Purchase price.
Hi, Professor.
Okay.
Hello, why we add the
Any
down payment?
questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me 1
Uh,
second. Okay, because the question asks you the purchase price. The question didn't ask you the present value. Imagine when you go out to buy a car, you need to put down payment. So you put down payment 37,000.
Yes.
So when you purchase this car, when you calculated the present value, the present value is the loan amount you borrowed. So you add to the down payment, that is the purchase price. The purchase price has 2 parts. 1 is the present value, 2 is the down payment.
Okay.
It is like you buy a house. Buy a house, $1 million. You put down 20%, 200,000. The purchase price, so you borrow money 800, right? Down payment 20. The purchase price is $100,000 million. Okay, so the reason is the purchase price. The purchase price must include down payment.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
I don't understand how we're supposed to prepare for a question like that when it's not even in any of the quizzes.
Oh, it
Like
is in the examples. textbook. You responsible for all the examples, textbook content.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for asking. Corey, I like your reflection. Thank you for sharing in the chat area. Okay. So this part, if I directly ask you what is the present value, I believe most students will answer correctly. You directly calculate present value. But the question didn't ask you present value. The question asked you purchase price. Okay. Thank you, Tacheri, sharing your experience. Thank you. Okay. So now we are good. So if the final exam have similar question, hope you would be able to handle it. Okay. Please ask questions throughout the lecture, okay? Stop me at any time. So
The next question, the interest will be paid is, how do you calculate interest paid? Each month you pay $394. Each month you pay $394. How many months you are going to pay? 72 months. So 394 times 72, that is total amount you paid. Minus present value. Present value is this number here. So the result would be $1,000.29. Questions?
Yeah, like you said, I calculated the present value and
next
I
question.
subtracted it from the payment. So, but like you said, I did not add the down payment.
yeah, unfortunately, if you don't add down payment, it's wrong. Okay.
I can't see your screen again. What happened?
Yeah, I'm just adjusting my screen. Give me 1 second.
Each month you make
Give me 1 second. I'm adjusting my screen. Computer has some problem.
N equal to 120. The question asks you, what is the size of monthly payment? What is the PMT? That is the question.
This is question 2, okay? Maybe our
Okay, so again, we need to set up PYCY, PY12, CY1. Then we need to enter 4 numbers. Okay, we know the future value 14,000. We know term N 120, term N 120. And we know REY, so 3 boxes. And we need 4 numbers, so PV is 0. Enter those 4 numbers in 4 boxes. And then compute. All right, so go calculator. Second quit. And then second PY. Touching 12. Enter. Down arrow, okay, CY 1 and second week. Okay. So I set PY 12, CY 1. Next, and the phone numbers. So FV 14,000. 14,000. That is FV 120 克门 6.1 IUI 0 PV compute PMT. So you should get $85.73. This number here. Question for number 2. Question for number 2. We just have one student joining in. Hello and welcome. We
Hi,
are
Professor.
asked 2 questions. We
Yes,
finished
I have a question.
that update on you.
Yes, easy.
If the interest in his account is compounded annually, okay, so I was wondering why we're timesing the payment by 12, but I see it now that the payment is made at the end of each month. Okay.
You see it? Okay. So
Mhm.
PY 12, because payment is made each month. CY 1, because compounded annually. Okay.
Mm.
Other questions? Okay.
Question 3. Question 3. A washer dryer combination can be purchased from a department store by making monthly credit.
Sorry, I didn't get the I by Y for question 2.
It is monthly.
Can you repeat your question, please?
The I by Y for question 2.
I by 1.
As in the rate.
So the rate.
For
Are
question
you
2.
talking about question 2?
Yes, please. If you can, okay, sorry, please.
Give me 1 second. I'm tracking down that question.
Okay, Professor, thank you.
There are many windows here. Question 2, yes. IY is 6.1.
Okay, yes, I see it now. Thank you. Because we don't have the questions, we can't have access to the questions on my
Right.
lab. So that's
Yeah.
why, okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. Any other question for question 2 before we go question 3? Right. monthly payment. So this one is PMT. P. Okay. Monthly payment means PY equal to 12. For 3.5 years. For 3.5 years means term N equal to 3 years. 1 year has 12 months, so 3 years, 3 times 12. Half year, you have 6 months. So total 36 plus 6 equal to 42 months. 3.5 years is the same as 42 months. The first payment is due on the date of sale. So on the date of sale means you should put your computer at BGN mode. You make the payment at the beginning. BGN. And interest 17% is IY. Compounded monthly means CY equal to 12. Okay. The question asks you, what is the purchase price? Means what is the present value? Compute present value, PV. So to compute present value, make sure computer is BGN, PY 12, CY 12, and then enter 4 numbers. One number is term N42. Then PMT negative 41.25. Interest IY 17. FV0. You need 4 numbers. FV0. So I put those 4 numbers into a box. And so now use your calculator. Second quit, you need to put your computer at BGN mode. How to go BGN? You go second begin, second set, second quit. Now you see BGN. I repeat the procedure. Second began, second set, second quit. You have BGN on your calculator. Okay. So after that, you enter, you set PY, CY. Second PY, PY is 12. Enter. Down arrow key CY, CY is 12. Enter. Second quit. And now you enter 4 numbers. You enter 4 numbers. So enter 42 is term N. Okay. 41.25 negative PMT. $17 IY. Zero F rate. Compute the P rate. Okay, So $1,317.43. $1,317.43. That is the purchase price. Okay. Any questions? Question B. The amount
Professor,
in installment will be. Yes, please.
for this N, 3 into 12 plus 6, can't you do 3.5 times 12?
For the term N,
Mhm.
can you do 3.5 times 12?
Yes.
Of course, you can do it. The result is 42.
Okay.
Thank you for asking, Easy. So this, the amount paid installment. So each month you make 41.25 payment. You do this for 42 months. Each month you make $41.25 payments. You make 42 months. So that is the total installment. Total paid in installments, $1,770.50 here. That is question 3B. Question C, the cost of financing. The cost of financing. You use the result from A, the purchase price, minus the total installment. Question B minus question A, you go to C. So the answer for B minus the answer for A, you go to question C. So use $1,732.50 minus $1,317.43, and you get 415. Okay. So any questions? All right. So that is question 3, last question. What is the cash value of a lease?
Professor, we didn't finish question 3. We
Required
didn't do the D part.
821 at the beginning for every month for 8 years.
You missed a part in question 3, Professor.
Yes, I hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's finish this question first, okay? Compounded semi-annually. So what is the cash value of the lease? Means what is the cash value of the lease? Means what is the present value? That is the question. Require payment. So this is PMT. The beginning, your computer is at begin mode. Every month means PY equal to 12. Okay, every month PY equal to 12. Did we miss the last question for question 3? What we missed?
We missed the D part. You didn't do the D part, the value of the entire contract.
Oh,
on the
thank you. Sorry. Yeah.
Mm.
I can come back to D. Okay. After finish. Yeah, I missed question D. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm sorry, I cannot post the work. The lecture is recorded. You can review the lecture recording for review. Okay. Or you can take the screenshot for the questions. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. You are paying attention. I missed part D in question 3. I will come back after question 4. Thank you again. So
But
price
also, you did not tell us before that the date of sale also means at the beginning.
no, I will not post a document for review. Sorry,
Okay.
you take the notes. Okay.
Easy, let's finish
Or
question
rewatch
4
the
first,
lecture
okay?
recording. This lecture
Okay,
is
Professor. Okay,
recorded.
Professor.
Okay, so what is the cash value of this required payment? Beginning of every month, PY equal to 12 for 8 years. For 8 years means term N equal to 12 times 8, 26. Interest means IY equal to 9. Compounded semi-annually. Semi-annually means CY equal to 2. Every month means PY equal to 12. PY equal to 12. Okay. So any questions?
FV equals to 0.
All right, so set matrix begin mode, PY12, CY2. Then enter phone number, PMT is negative. PMT negative 821. Term N 96, IY 9. FV, they compute PV. FV, they compute PV. So I put 4 boxes, represent phone number we need to enter. Where's my calculator? Okay, second quick. Make sure your calculator is at BGN. Your calculator is at BGN mod. BGN then PY12. Second PY. PY is 12. Enter. Down arrow key. CY is 2. Second wait. Okay. And then enter phone number 821. Negative PMT. 96. Term N. 9. IY. 0. FV. Compute PV. So you got $56,782.52. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Okay, now I will go back to.
I got
question
56460, not
One
731.
second, okay.
So give me 1 second, I'm adjusting my computer. Thank you for your patience.
I need to double check something.
Okay, so let me go back to question 3, part D. Okay, all right. I'm still adjusting my computer. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So question 3, part D. Okay. Here, question 3, part D. If additional $8 is added, what is the value of the entire contract on the date of the sale? So for this part, you add $8 each month. Originally, each month $41.25. If you add $8, what is the monthly payment? Thank you, Corey. Thank you. You are so smart. So monthly payment is $49.25. That is monthly payment. And the term is still 42. RUI is 70. Oops. Okay. And then future value is 0. You compute present value and make sure it is a computer is began mode, BGN, because the question asks you on the date of the sale. Usually it is began mode. Okay. So enter 4 numbers, PMT 4925, term N42, IY 17, FV 0, compute PV, and make sure it is BGN mode.
Can you please explain again? I don't understand. So we are computing PV based on what?
Thank you, Easy. If you read question D, it said if additional $8
Per month.
is added, additional $8 per month. Originally, each month $41.25. If you add $8, becomes $49.25. Okay.
Okay.
And everything else remain unchanged, means term N 42, IY 17, FV 0. The question asks you what is PV? You compute PV. And because the sale is under date of the sale, so make sure it is BGN mode. BGN, then PY12, CY12, enter 4 number in this 4 box. Did you see the 4 box?
Yes.
4 numbers. Then compute PV.
Okay. So another question, Professor.
Sure.
So you are trying to tell us now that anytime we have a question that says date of sales, it means BGN mode.
Yeah, most often, if it is the date of sale, it is BGN.
Okay.
Most often, again, depending on the context. Okay. Thank you, Corey, for sharing your experiences. Thank you, Midira, for responding your colleague. Okay, guys, shall we take a break? Make sure to take care of yourself, both physically and mentally. Come back, we do more questions, okay? So today is all about questions.
Shall we come back at 1:05? So everybody break back at 1:05. Okay, welcome back. Hope you have nice break. Are there any questions? Okay. So before break, we did a review for test 2 questions. Now I will go some questions from quiz 9. Quiz 9 question about chapter 14. I will use those questions as example. Okay. So after quiz 9, I will go over case study questions. Case study questions coming from some questions from chapter 14, some questions from chapter 13. Again, I will use those questions as example so that today we'll finish chapter 14 by doing some questions related to chapter 14. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes,
So the rest,
Professor.
thank you. So I will go quiz 9 questions. I will go case study questions. Thank you so much for your response. And please stop me at any time, type your question in chat area or directly speak up. Okay. Okay, you ready for quiz 9? Remember, each quiz you have several attempts. The highest mark will be recorded. Okay.
As example, to
When is the quiz 9 due, Professor?
After quiz questions, I will use case study questions as example to present chapter 14. Then we're done for today. So today is all about the problem solving. I give you directly questions and directly solve the questions. Okay. Is this right? PMT. Sarah, you are brilliant. That is right.
Professor, when is the quiz 9 due?
Question
A week from today.
Question 3, part D. Sarah, you are correct. 41.25 plus 8. That is PMT. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So, test 1 is quiz 10. So quiz 9 is chapter 14 questions. Okay, quiz 9 is chapter 14 questions. So I'll try to go slow. Your question on chat area or like Christopher, unmute yourself, speak up. Okay. By the way, you have multiple chance to do quiz 9. The highest mark will be recorded. So if you want to see the question, you go to my lab, go to quiz 9. Those are the questions. But because we are using my lab, your number would be different, but the format, the layout would be exactly the same. Okay, the format, layout, solution method is exactly the same. Okay, so question 1 on quiz 9. It is due today, but it is extended to next week, next Wednesday. Okay, and you have multiple times to do it. All right, so compute the size of last payment of the following loan. Chapter 14 is about mortgage loan calculation. So the situation, I will use this example to explain some concept and techniques. The principle means
this is the money you borrowed. You borrowed 22,000 from a bank. You borrowed 22,000. Periodic payment. Okay, periodic payment means every month. How do I know it's every month? The payment interval said 1 month. Okay, so every month you pay the bank $2,189. Every month you pay this. Payment made at the end, so your computer is END mode. Interest is 12%, compounded monthly. How do I know compounded monthly? Here, conversion period monthly. Okay. The question asks us, what is the final payment? Okay, so each month you pay 2,189, but the final month is not this amount. So the first month, yes, $2,189. The second month, yes, $2,189, but the last month is not this amount. Our task is to calculate the last amount. I gave you the answer here. The last amount, you need to pay $1,413.90. How do we get this number? Okay, that is the question. Okay. Okay, to do this, we absolutely need a calculator. Okay, and I give you some notes here. So first of all, identify this is the END mode. Okay, and then you set PY. Payment interval is 1 month, means PY is 12. See my notes here. PY is 12. Interest compounded monthly means CY is 12. Okay. So when you set up PY, CY, you enter 4 numbers. So which are 4 numbers? Principal means present value. This is PV, present value. And this number, PMT. Enter negative number. Okay, PMT. Interest, IY, 12. Okay, interest IY 12. And then FV is 0. See, I have 4 boxes, means 4 numbers. Enter 4 numbers. Enter PV, 22,000. Enter PMT, negative 2,189. Enter IY 12. Enter 0 as FV. And then you compute term N. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so you can see my screen. Okay. First of all, second quit and make sure your computer is END mode. Okay, END. I have BGN. How do I change from BGN to END? You go to second BGN, second BGN, second set, second quit. Now you don't have anything on top right corner. That means it is BGN mode. Or it is END mode. By default, it is END mode. So we need END. Okay. So after that, enter PY 12, CY 12, second PY 12, enter. Down arrow, okay, CY 12, enter. Okay. Now second quick. After that, enter four numbers. So 22,000. That is PV. 2,189. Negative PMT. 12 is IY. 0 is FV. Compute term N. So I got 10.644774 here. 10.644774. Any questions? As you can see, if you got exactly 11 payment, the last payment would be 2,189, but you get 10.644774 months. That's why the last payment would be less than 2,189. What exactly is the amount for last payment? That is our question. We need to solve that question. Okay. Okay. So once we are here, we need to introduce a new functionality in calculator. That is amortization. So you need to click second amount. Second amount here. See, click second amount. Click second amount.
I got
thought
PV
for a moment,
equals to 1.
if you have any questions? Okay.
I
So
got
second
PV equals
amount.
1.
After second amount, you have P1 means P. Sorry, EC, can you repeat?
Oh no, I'm confirming that after second amount, I got P1 equals 1.
Excellent, you are on the right track. Thank you for sharing. Period. Our calculation for the term N is 10.644774. So we want to know what is at the 10th payment.
And I need to write something.
Would be the balance
So get them.
at the 10th
How many I
payment.
put? How many I don't put? What did it take?
Okay, click enter key. And then use down arrow key. You go to P2. We want to know something at the 10th payment. So P2 still is the 10. Typing 10, then press enter. Okay. After you type in 10, P1 10, P2 10. See, I have notes here. P1 10, P2 10. Use down arrow key. See, this down arrow key. Click it. Okay. And you have balance at the end of 10th payment. You have balance $1,399.91 or 90 cents. Okay. And then this balance is at the, okay. So this is at the 10th payment. At the 10th payment, you got balance here. Okay, this is the 10th payment. Now, so the question asks you, after 10th payment, what is this amount? This is the last payment. This is the last payment. Okay, so it looks like you have this is the present value, and what is this amount here? You just use PV times 1 plus I. Normally you plus I, but in this case, we have PY equal to CY, so you just 1 plus periodic interest I. Okay. So this number is PV. Okay. And what is I? Interest is 12% compounded monthly. So I equal to 12% divided by 12 equal to 1% or equal to 0.01. Okay, so 1 plus 0.01, you got 1.01. Okay, so this number multiply 1.01, you get final payment. You get final payment. Okay. Any questions to calculate final payment using calculator? If you use the formula, that is way too complex. I have a lecture recording using formula. You can check out that recording. Okay, but the calculator is fast, it is accurate, it is efficient. Okay. All right, so that is one question from your case study. Let's take a break. After break, we'll go over, no, that is from the quiz 9. Sorry, we continue, okay? We have second break about usually after 45 minutes, 15 minutes, okay? Okay, after break, we'll continue quiz question as example to present chapter 14 content. Okay, so break. No break, okay, I'm going to. Please bear with me, I'm adjusting my computer. Payment of 503 at the end of anything. So before. For break, we did question 1, that is chapter 14. Okay, last payment. Okay. Now we go question 2. Let me check if you have question. Okay, no question so far. Okay, question 2.
Can you please go over how we got the balance again for question 1?
So question 1, okay. This is question 1.
Yes, how we got the balance of 1399? And why are we dividing 12% by 12?
Thank you for your question. There are 2 questions here. Question 1, how did we get 1399? You got this 1399 by press second and mode. And then you have P1, typing number 2. Use down arrow key, you see number P2, typing number 10 again. After that, down arrow key, you will get this balance from your computer. Okay, so this is your first question. Second question, why 12% divided by 12. Okay. Because the interest is compounded monthly here. So we need the monthly interest rate. So you use 12% divided by 12, it is 1%. The reason is we need to calculate the last payment. We know the balance at the beginning of the last payment is 1399. Okay, then we need to know what is the value here, future value. So use PV times 1 plus I. PV is 1399, I is 1%. You get the last payment.
Okay,
Does
thank
that-
you. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, now we move on question 2. Okay, question 2.
By payment of 503 at the end of each 3 months. Okay, let's analyze this sentence. Alone means that is present value. So this is PV. PV equal to 10,000. Obviously, 503 is PMT. So keyword end, make sure your computer is at end. Every 3 months means PY equal to 4. Remember, PY represents 1 year, how many payments? If you make payment every 3 months, you make 4 payments a year. Interest IY is 8. IY compounded quarterly means CY is 4. So, and question A, how many payments means calculate term N. Calculate term N. Okay, so let's do it, computer. I mean calculator. Try to adjust my screen so that you see both the question and my calculator. All right, so second equation. Make sure it is END end. So there is nothing on top right, means it is END end. And then set PY is 4, CY is 4. Second PY 4. Enter. Down arrow, okay, CY 4. Enter. Second equation. Okay, so after that, enter 4 numbers. So PV, PMT, IY, and then FV is 0. Okay, 4 number FV is 0. So 4 numbers, FV is 0, IY is 8, PMT 503, PV 10,000. All right, so 10,000. That is the PV. Yeah. And then 503 negative PMT. And then 8 is IY 0 FV. Okay. So I entered 4 numbers. I entered those 4 numbers. Okay. After you entered 4 numbers, compute N. Compute term N. So I get 25.595, 25.595. This is term N. Okay. So for the first 25 payments, each payment is 503. Because the last payment, it is just 0.5954 period. So it would be less than 503. What exactly the amount? It should be 372. How do we get this number? We use amortization function. Okay, amortization function. Okay, after number of payment 25.59, we need to use amortization function to calculate what is the balance at the end of 25th payment. To do that, you press second unmount. Okay, see, second unmount. And P1 type in 25. Enter. Down arrow key, you have P2, type in 25, enter. Okay, and now press down arrow key. So you have balance 294.819 here. Okay, and after you got this balance, multiply this balance by 1 plus I. Okay, I equal to 8% divided by 4. I equal to 8% divided by 4. So you get result $372. So multiply 294 times 1 plus 8% divided by 4. Any questions? All right.
I have a question, Professor.
Two.
Sure, go ahead, Easy.
Yes, why is P1 and P2 25?
P1 25, P2 25 means
Yeah.
we focus on payment period 25th. Remember term N, we got 25.59 something. Okay, so the question asks you the last payment. So we need to know what is the balance at the 25th payment. That's why P1 25, P2 25. Remember in question 1, we get term N equal to 10 point blah, blah, blah. So we need to know P1 is 10, P2 is 10, okay? So if you look at question 3, which we are going to do now, hope that will answer your question. What is P1, what is P2 here in question 3?
Okay. So then for the I is the 8% divided by 4, which is 0.02.
Yes. 8% divided by 4 is I, yes.
So you now times 0.02 by 294.
After we got this balance right here, right? Did you see this number?
Yes.
So this number times bracket 1 plus 8% divided by 4. And you got 300 something.
I didn't get that actually. So 1 plus 8% divided by 4.
Yeah, bracket, closing bracket.
So the final answer is what?
300 point something, yeah.
Look, I thought you wrote here 254.24.
You see, you use 294, easy. 294.819 times bracket 1 plus 8% divided by 4.
I know. So what did we get as the final answer? That's what I want to know.
300. You get 300 point something, yeah.
Okay, I didn't get it yet. That's why.
Did you get it?
Not yet, because when I divide 8% by 4, it gives me 0.02.
Yeah.
Okay, can you do it? Maybe use the regular calculator. I will give you a few moments. You can calculate your number. So the other way is you can do 994.819 times 1.02. You should get 300.7. Did you get it? The final answer 300.71.
I didn't get it yet. I got 5.89, but I will redo it again. It's okay. You can move ahead.
Yeah. So shall we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
It's now chapter 14. Chapter 14. Let me check the message. No questions. And an annuity with a cash value of 9,400. With cash value means 9,400. This is our present value. Okay. Pays 830 at the beginning of every 3 months, so 830 in PMT. So keyword begin, make sure you set up your computer at BGN. Every 3 months means PY equal to 4. And the interest is 6% means this is IY. Compounded quarterly means CY equal to 4. Okay. The question asks you A, how many payments will be paid? How many means what is the term N? Calculate term N. Okay. Okay, so to calculate term N, we need to make sure computer is BGN mode. So first of all, second quit. Now set your computer BGN. Second begin. Second set. Second quit. Okay. After you have begin mode, set PY4, CY4. Second PY4. Enter. Down arrow key. Down arrow key. CY is 4. Enter. Second quit. Now enter 4 numbers. Those 4 numbers I will use box. PV, PMT, IY, FV is 0. So 4 numbers in 4 box. Okay. Okay. 9,400. That is PV. 830. Negative PMT. 0 FV. And then 6 is IY. Compute N. And I got 12.3023. Okay. Any questions? Okay. 12.3023. But when you answer how many payments, you answer it should be 13. Question B, what is the size of the last payment? The size of the last payment. Remember, we need to use second amortization function. So you click second amount. Second amount. Because we got 12.3023, 12 point something. So we need P1 equal to 12. Enter. Down arrow key P2. 12. Enter. Down arrow key. So at the end of 12th payment, the balance is 248. 248.5145. Okay, this is the balance at the end of 12th payment. Now use this balance times 1 plus I equal to 6% compounded quarterly. So 6% divided by 4. And you got the final payment, $252.24. Questions? Okay, so that concludes questions from chapter 14. Any questions? Questions for chapter 14? Okay, now there are some questions. Thank you, Christopher. There are some questions from case study. Remember, case study is 10%. That is a lot, 10%. So now I'm going to go over your case study question. Adam, thank you for your question. What was the answer for B? The answer for B is here, $252.24. How do I get this number? Or for A is here, 13. The exact number is 12.302335. But when you answer how many payments, you round up. So 13, the answer is here. Thank you for asking, Adam. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, remember you can access the case study questions. So I will pause for a moment. You got the question so that you can follow my steps. Okay. There are 4 questions for case study. Are very because it is a case study, so it is a little bit. You have some difficulty level here. So case study. Questions coming from chapter 13 and chapter 14. So I just want to give you a moment to pull out your case study question so that you can make a notes on the questions. All right, so shall we go question by question? Question 1. By the way, the number in my example here may be different from the number in your case study, but the principle is exactly the same. Okay, it is just to change the number. Okay, okay, so you ready? Question 1. If the White Rock Fire Department invests now in new ladder systems for several of the trucks, they would save $3,500 every 6 months in repair costs. So 3,500 is the PMT. Okay. Every 6 months means PY equal to 2. Every 6 months means PY equal to 2. When single cash payment made, what single cash payment is equivalent to the repair payment if interest is 4% compounded quarterly? Okay. And the remaining situations, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So different situations. So we answer them one by one. So first, we analyze the data given. So payment PMT negative 3,500. 8% compounded quarterly means CY equal to 4. Every 6 months means PY is 2. Okay, PY is 2. Okay, that's it. That is the data is given. Now, question A, part A. If payments are made at the end of every 6 months for 15 years, payments made at the end of every 6 months for 15 years. For 15 years means term N equal to 2 times 15 equal to 30. Okay, equal to 30. So, and make sure your computer is END mode. So what is the question here? What you are asked to do? You are asked what single cash investment made now means compute PV. Compute present value. Okay. So let's do it. So second quit. Remember during the final exam situation, you have mixed questions from chapter 12, chapter 13, chapter 14, chapter 16. You need to make sure you know when do you switch from begin to end, from end to begin. So in this question, the keyword is END. So you need to switch your calculator to END. Right now, my calculator is BGN. So I need to switch from BGN to END. How to do this? Second, begin. Second, set. Second, quit. Now it is END. Okay, END. Try to adjust my screen so that you see both question and my computer. I mean my calculator. Okay. Okay. Now question part A. So we need to set up PY is 2, CY is 4. So second PY, type in 2. Enter. Down arrow key, CY is 4. Enter. Second, quit. Okay. So I just set up PY 2, CY 4. After that, you enter 4 numbers to compute PV. We need to compute present value. Enter 4 numbers. Okay. So one number is negative 3,500, that is PMT. Negative PMT. Okay. And then for 15 years means term N equal to 30. Term N is 30. Interest is 8. 8 is IY.
ZUFV. Compute PV. So I got this number. Okay. I got this number. Let me double check the answer. Yeah, correct. $60,229.26. Okay. So that is question 1, part A. Part A. Any questions? Any questions? Just wondering who are here. Attending lecture actually is required, but okay, Cesar, thank you. Jumana, thank you. You're always here, Jumana. Martin, thank you. Megan, Michael, Sarah, because the calculator has memory. Okay, it remembers I already entered those numbers. So I just enter term N is 20. Then I compute present value PV. So I got 49,312. Here, part B, answer. $312.99. Okay. I pause for a moment to see if you have any questions. We did part A, part B. Part C need a little bit work. Let's read part C. If the payment is at the end of every 6 months for 8 years, but deferred for 4 years. Okay, when you have deferred, usually 2 steps. Okay, you need to do 2 steps. If you can refer my diagram here, what is the relationship between 4 year and 8 year? So 4 year happened first. Okay, so you deferred for 4 year, and then you make a payment for 8 years. You make a payment for 8 years. What is the question here? The question is, what is the present value now? What is the present value now? Okay. So there are 2 steps. Step 1, for 8 years, this is an annuity. In 8 years, compute the present value. Step 1, compute the present value for 8 year annuity. Step 2, translate this value into here. This is the normal calculation for compound interest. When you have a value here, what is the present value here? To do step 2, the result from step 1 becomes future value in step 2. Did you see that?
I did not follow you for step B, the single cash.
Repeat step 1.
So you see, remember this kind of questions? 2
Yeah.
steps. Step 1, you need to calculate what is the money here at the end of 4 years.
No,
So
I'm
the
talking
B-
about the question, the B part. I did not follow on that.
Which
Picking
part?
up every 6 months for 10 years.
Oh, okay. So question B,
Yeah.
every 6 months for 10 years, it is began. So change your computer to BGN,
Yeah.
and type in 4 numbers
Mhm.
and compute PV.
So we are changing the PYCY.
The same thing, PY is 2, CY is 4.
Okay. So what 4 numbers are we entering? So we still enter the same payment as 3,500.
The 4 number is PMT 3500 negative, we got this PMT. Term N is 20
Oh, why 20?
because it is every 6 months for 10 years.
Okay, this is for 10 years. So, okay.
Every 6 months for 10 years,
15 years, for 15 years.
not 15,
For
for
10
10
years, okay.
years.
Okay,
Question 1 is
2 times
15
10,
years,
okay.
B is 10 years. So you got term N, okay, 20.
Okay,
FV is 0, compute PV.
okay. Okay, so what did we get? Okay, I by Y 20.
You want the answer?
Yes, I want to compare it with mine.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Calculate the. I need to adjust my computer, okay, to get the answer.
For you.
Present value. Oops. Would you mind, DC? I give you the answer later when I have the
Okay.
chance.
Okay,
Okay.
Professor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
For 8 years.
This is question C. Okay, part C.
After you calculate the present value for 8-year annuity, this present value becomes future value for 4 years. And then in step 2, calculate the present value when you have future value after 4 years. So 2 steps. Okay. All right, so now let's do step 1 first. Okay, in step 1, this is part C. It is end, END, end. Watch my mouse, END, end. So I need to change my calculator from BGN to END, end. So first of all, second quit. Then I need to change BGN to END. So second began, second set, second quit.
Professor, I can't see your screen.
So it
Oh,
is
sorry.
END. Now, watch
Give
my
me 1
diagram
second.
here. I do step 1. Calculate the present value for 8-year annuity. Okay. So 8 year means term N equal to 16 because it is every 6 months. And it is still PY is 2, CY is 4. Okay. I already did PY too, so I'll double check. So PY is 2, CY is 4. Okay. And because IY. So for part C, I just need to enter term N16, then I press calculate PV. So 16 is term N, okay, and then compute PV present value. So I got $40,662.96. See the number here? I got this number. This is the present value for 8-year period. And this number becomes the future value for 4-year period. So our step 2 would be to calculate the present value here. Okay. So how do we do that? You have multiple ways to do it. So how do I calculate present value here? For 4 years means term N equal to 8. During this 4 years, you don't make any payment. So PMT is 0. And FV is $4,662.96. You compute PV. That is step 2. Now I'm going to do step 2 in calculator. So I need this value. So I'm going to say store this value in number 1. Later on, I can recall this number. So I will store in number 1. Okay. Or I can directly, this value is the present future value in step 2. So I'm just typing future value. Okay, this is the future value in step 2. In step 2, 0 is PMT. And in step 2, 8 is IY. I already entered 8 is IY. And in step 2, N is 8 because step 2 is 4 years. So you enter 8 is term N. And then you compute PV. So you got $29,620.76 here.
You see, you want the answer for part B, it is here. 49,312.99.
Okay, Professor.
Okay, so this is part A, part B, okay? Part C, 29,620. Part C, okay? Any other questions? Okay, shall we continue? Great. Oops. Oops.
That's the answer. Yeah, correct. $60,229.26 to 16 because it is every 6 months. Or I can directly, this value is the present future value in step 2. So I'll just type in future value. Okay, this is the future value.
It is still in part C, okay?
In step 2, 0 is PMT. And in step 2, 8 is IY. I already entered 8 is IY. And in step 2, N is 8 because step 2 is 4 years. So you enter 8 is term N. And then you compute PV. So you got $29,620.76 here. That is step C. Any questions?
Okay, guys, shall we take a break? Second break, because we have a couple of more questions. After break, we'll continue, okay? So let's say, take about 10-minute break, come back at 2:15, okay? 2:15, we continue. for 9 years. Look at my diagram here. Annuity happened in 9
Sorry, we
years.
start question D,
Deferred
okay?
for 8. During this 4 year, you don't make any payment, so PMT is 0. And FV, it is BGN mod, BGN. The annuity happened for 9 years. Look at my
Part D.
diagram here.
Part D,
Annuity happened in 9 years. Deferred for 3 years here. Okay, so step 1, we need to calculate the present value for 9-year annuity. Present value for 9-year annuity. The point is here. What is the present value at here? Step 1. And the result of step 1 becomes future value for 3-year deferred period. So step 2, calculate the present value here. Exactly the same structure as part C, except this is the BGN mode, except the number changed. Okay. All right, so let's do D first, change to BGN. So second begin, second set, second quit. I got BGN. Next, look at my diagram. Step 1, calculate the present value for 9-year annuity. 9-year means term N equal to 18 because every 6 months. So I just need to enter 18 as term N, then compute PV, and I got looks not good. I should get this number, so I'm going to double check everything. So I will redo step 1 for part D. Okay. We need to calculate the present value here. It is begin mode. Double check D, 6 months. So PY is 2, CY is 4. Double check PY is 2, CY 4. Okay. Now I need to re-enter the numbers. Just on safe side, PMT 35,000. Negative PMT. 0 is FV. IY is 8. Term N is 18. Compute PV. Okay, this time I got correct. Okay, it matched the notes I get here. So I calculated the PV for 9-year annuity. After I calculate PV for 9-year annuity, this present value becomes future value for 3 years.
Professor, what did you use for the future value for this part D?
Present value here.
can you repeat your question, Easy?
What did you use for the future value for this D part? This
Okay.
present one, yeah,
D part,
yeah.
there are 2 steps. Step 1, calculate the present value for 9-year annuity.
Okay,
The result of step 1 becomes future value for 3-year deferred period. So step 1, calculate the present value for 9-year annuity. And this number is here on the calculator, becomes future value for 3-year deferment.
okay, so the present value we got was 4662.96.
It is $45,948.
That's the first step.
That is step 1, D.
Okay,
And make sure it is the BGN mod in question D. BGN. Okay, shall we move on?
yes.
Okay, thank you. now. So I need to enter term n equal to 6. Okay, then compute PV. So first of all, this PV becomes FV in step 2. So I press FV is this amount. Then I enter 6 is the term n. Then compute PV. So I got that number. D is not correct, so I need to redo step 2 for part D. So in step 2, future value is, I didn't save that one yet, typing 4, 5, 9, 4, 8, 4, 5, 9, 4, 8.055. So this number is FV. Okay, 0 is PMT. 0 PMT. IY, I believe all the part is 8. Term N, I need to enter 6 is the term N. Now compute PV. This time I got correct. 3600, 200 here. 36,229. The reason I didn't get correct is I didn't enter PMT0 during this 3 period. The computer have memory, believe PMT negative 3500. As a matter of fact, PMT is 0 during this 3-year period. Okay. Okay, questions. See, it's quite a lot of work, but this question is very good. Make sure you do it again and again and again.
I have a question, Professor.
Yeah, you say.
The question says, if you scroll up the question, it says, if you can scroll up a little, it said, the question says, for 6 months, for 9 years, but deferred for 3 years. I don't understand what they mean deferred for 3 years.
Okay, easy. Means the payment is not made until after 3 years. So today is here. Did you see where is my mouse? Today is here. So after 3 years, the annuity happened for 9 years. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Okay, shall we move on?
Okay, we finished part D. Okay, part E. Payment at the end of each 6 months in perpetuity. Perpetuity. Perpetuity means the payment goes forever. What is the question here? You are still asked to calculate the present value if the payment goes on and on and on and on and on forever. That is part E. Okay. Okay. So part E asks you to, what is the present value for perpetuity? This is the formula for perpetuity. PMT divided by P. What is P? P is the equivalent rate per payment period. P equal to 1 plus I raised to power CY over PY minus 1. Okay, CY is 4 here. PY is 2. So first step, you need to figure out what is the P. The result is 0.0404. After you got this P, use 3,500 divided by 0.0404, and you will get this number E. So 3,500 divided by 0.0404. 0.0404 is the P. P is the equivalent rate per payment period. Why do we need P?
because we have a py not equal to cy, you must use p. And what is the formula for p again? P equal to 1 plus I raised to power py over cy minus 1. Okay. Okay, that is the part E. Part F, payment at the beginning of every 6 months in perpetuity. If the perpetuity happened at the beginning, the formula for present value is PMT plus PMT divided by P. P is the equivalent rate per payment period. So PMT 35,000 plus 35,000 divided by 0.0404. And you will get this number for F. I give you expression here. Okay. Any questions? So that is question 1, quite a lot of work, but this is a very, very good question. There are 2 purposes for this question. 1, this is part of your case study. Second, this question is a very good question for final exam review. Make sure you can do each and every item without looking at the solutions. Can you come up with those answers? If yes, that's great. If not, watch the lecture recording again until you can do those questions by yourself independently. Okay. All right. Shall we take a break? After break, I will do the rest of questions.
No
Okay.
break, we directly
break.
continue, okay?
Is the first payment. The amount.
I'm just in my computer. Please wait patiently.
Okay, welcome back. Hope you have had a nice break. Before break, we did question 1. Now we move to question 2. Any question before we do question 2? Question 2 is still chapter 14 questions. Try to use this question as an example. Try to finalize any questions. All right. So let's read question 2 together. 38,000 mortgage take out on June 1st. So June 1st, you take out 38,000. You pay every month. Every monthly payment round to $10. The payments are scheduled on the first day of each month, starting July 1st. Starting July 1st is the first payment. The amortization period is 12 years, and the interest is 3.8%, compounded semi-annually for 6 months term. 6 months term means July 1st, August 1st, September 1st, until December 1st.
I'm sorry, I have problem with my computer. Give me a few moments. I want to fix the problem. Okay. for 6 months. So basically, you are asked to fill out this form.
Professor, I can't see your screen.
Thank you. I'm adjusting my computer. There's a networking problem. Thank you for your patience. Form. This form is amortization schedule. So in this form, you need to say on July 1st, what is the payment? And what is the interest paid on July 1st? What is the principal repaid on July 1st? What is outstanding balance on July 1st? Okay, and then repeat this for August 1st, September 1st, until December 1st. Okay, so first we are clear about what we are supposed to do. Fill out this form to figure out what is the amount paid, interest paid, principal paid, outstanding balance. So to do that, first we need to calculate what is PMT, monthly payment. Because the payment is at the first day of each month, so your calculator should add BGN mod. And you make payment every month, so PY is 12. Interest compounded semi-annually means CY is 2. Okay, the amortization is 12 years, so term N equal to 12 times 12 equal to 144. Interest IY 3.8, present value 38,000, future value 0. Compute PMT, you will get $327.44. But the question asks you to round to the nearest tens. So $327 becomes $330 because of the nearest $10. This is the first step. Compute PMT. Okay. And this question, because PY not equal to CY, you also need to calculate the P, equivalent rate per payment period. So P equal to 1 plus I raised to power C minus 1. C equal to CY, remember CY is 2, over PY, PY is 12. So you plug in, you get the P. Okay, once you get the P, fill out this form. So July 1st, you make 330 payment. What is the interest paid? So use the outstanding balance, 38,000 times P. You get $119.39. That is the interest paid. And how do you get the principal paid? Use 330 minus interest paid. That is the principal repaid, $210. And then what is the outstanding balance? Using the previous outstanding balance, 38,000 minus principal repaid. That is the outstanding balance for July 1st. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, so we did July 1st. You keep on going to August 1st. You still make 330 payment because 330 is the PMT. And when it comes to August 1st, the interest paid is the previous outstanding principal balance, this number, okay, times P. Okay, so this number coming from here, and you get $118. Then use 330 minus the interest paid. You get principal repaid, $211. And then outstanding balance using the previous outstanding balance minus principal repaid, you get new outstanding balance here. So you keep on going. You fill out this form. Okay. Any questions? Because this is study, you need to spend a lot of work on each question. It is like the real life problem. Okay, you construct the amortization schedule. Okay, shall we move on to next question? Okay. Question 3. Again, this question from chapter 14. Today all about chapter 14, sometimes 13, okay? Connor has paid $15,000 for retirement annuity, from which he will receive $2,067 at the end of every month, means PY equal to 12. The payments are deferred for 15 years, say deferred for 15 years, and interest 6% compounded monthly. Question A, how many payments will Connor receive? Okay, how many payments will receive? So again, when you have a deferred problem, 2-step question. So in this situation, step 1 is deferment, 15 years. In 15 years, what happened was you have present value 15,000. During these 15 years, you do not make a payment, PMT0. And 15 years is the same as 180 months because it is every month. Interest IY is 6, so you got those 4 numbers. Then you compute future value at the end of 15 years, future value. Once you calculated the future value, this value becomes present value for the annuity. So you do step 2. Step 2 is annuity. Okay. The question asks you, so you got the present value. You got the PMT. Okay, you got the present value, FV0. So you enter 4 numbers, you can calculate number payments in A. How many payments? Okay, so now I will use a calculator to do it. So I'll return back to step 1. What is the future value after 15 years? And this is the END end. So I need to change my computer from begin to end. Go to second quit. Then second begin. Second set. Second quit. After that, set PY12, CY12 for second PY12, enter. Down arrow CY12, enter. Second quit. Second quit. My calculator doesn't work. Second quit. And so after that, enter 4 numbers. 6 with IY. 180 term N. 0 PMT. 15,000 is PV. Compute FV. The future value $36,811 40343. This is future value. And this future value becomes the present value for annuity in step 2. So I press PV. And this is a positive number for our present this time. Then PV. Okay. So you go to PV and then enter PMT. Negative $2,067. 2067. This is negative PMT. Okay. FV is 0. 0 FV. Okay. And then 6 is IY. We already entered that. It doesn't hurt to enter it again. So final step, compute N, term N. Okay. So this is the exact number I get, term N. 18.699055 here. But when you answer the question, the requirement is round up to the nearest whole number. So it's 19 payments. Any questions? Okay. Now, question B, the size of final payment. The size of final payment. Because we have 18.699 payments. So we need to know what is the balance at the end of 18 period using amortization. Okay. So I will do second amount. P1 equal to 18. Enter. Down arrow key, P2 18. Enter. Down arrow key. I got balance at the end of 18 period. It is $1,438. Okay. Once you get this number, and then you use this number times 1 plus I. Okay. So we get this number here, the balance at the end of 18 period. Okay. And then this number, I will write it down. This number, the size of final payment is this number. This number multiply 1 plus I. I is 6% compounded monthly. So 6% divided by 12 should be the answer. Okay. So this is this number. If you can do it on side using Excel. So I'm going to pull out my. So anyway, you do this number, it should be come up with this one here. Part B. Okay. $1,446. Okay. So this is part B. The size of final payment. And oh, Isaac, thank you for your question. Why not 19? It could be 19. You could do 19. I mean, so I did 18 because my term is 18.699. Okay, so I want to say what is the balance at the end of 18. See, Isaac, smart question. You could do 19. See, my note here, alternatively, you can do 19. So P1 equal to 19, P2 equal to 19. Okay, So the balance is negative. This negative 620 means overpayment. Then you subtract this 620 from the PMT 2067, you still get the same number, 1,446 as last payment. Great observation, Isaac. See, this is a multiple ways to do the same thing. When you use 918, you need to times 1 plus I divided by 12. When you use 19, you need to subtract 620 from 2067, get the last payment. This is my notes. Okay, any other questions? All right. So that is part B. Part C, Connor will receive. Okay. Connor will receive how much money? This is part C answer. So you have 18 payment. Each payment is 2067. So use 18 times 2016 plus last payment. That is the answer for C. Questions? And D, total interest. What is total interest? Total interest, use question C. The result from question C minus the original amount, 15,000 is total interest. Total interest, use question C minus 15,000 is D, the result for D. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Last question. Okay. This question from chapter 13. Okay. Case study, last question. Okay. Omega Venture Group needs to borrow to finance a project. Repayment of the loan involves payment of 1,640 at the end of each 3 months for 6 years. No payments to be made during the development period of 3 years, means you have 3-year deferred period. Interest 9% compounded annually. Question A, how much should the group borrow? Okay, 2 steps. Step 1, there are 2 steps. Step 1, you have 6-year annuity. 6-year annuity. So in step 1, you calculate the present value of 6-year annuity. To calculate the present value of 6-year annuity, you enter 4 numbers. PMT 1,640, term on 6 years. So every 3 months, so 4 times 6 equal to 24. IY is 9, FV 0, compute PV. And this PV becomes FV relative to 3 years. So step 2, you compute PV for now, using the result from step 1. Okay, so in step 2, 3 years means term unequal to 5 because every 3 months. Okay, now let me use the calculator. All right, so every 3 months means PY is 4. Interest compounded annually means CY is 1. So I need to enter this one. And the keyword is end. My computer should be at end mode. So I'll check what is this item. Second quit, clear anything. So I don't have anything on top right corner. That means it is end mode. Then set PY for CY1. Second PY 4. Enter. Down arrow CY1. Enter. Second, quit. And now enter this phone number, PMT negative 1,640. Term on 24. 9 is interest RY. 0 is FV. Compute PV. Okay, so it is this amount, 30402.97929. So this is the present value for step 1 for 6-year annuity. Okay, next, do the step 2. What is the present value for now? So in step 2, you enter PMT0. Term N is 12, compute PV. Okay, but first of all, you need to change this PV to FV. Typing, enter FV. So for 3-year period, this number is the future value. So FV, and then 0 is the PMT. And then 12 is the term N, compute PV. So you got this number, $23,476. Okay, questions? Part B, what amount will be repaid? So each month, each period, you make 1,640 payment times 24. That is total amount repaid. Okay, I give you answer here. Question C, how much is the interest? Question B minus question A, that is the interest. Question B minus question A is the interest. Okay. Okay, let's conclude all 4 questions from case study. Remember, you have multiple time to.
Okay, it's a long lecture. We finished all the questions from case study. We are running out of time. Thank you for your patience. If you have any questions, please email me for any questions, specific questions, okay? All right, thank you so much for the last minute.
Yes, so how many trials do we have for the case study? Do we have multiple?
You have multiple attempts, 3 attempts.
Okay.
The highest mark will be recorded.
Okay. Then the quiz 9 is due next week.
Yeah, a week from today.
Okay, Professor, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you all. Take care. Bye.
Miss,
Yes.
I emailed you asking if I could speak to you after class. Is that okay?
Oh, sure, Mildred, yeah. Give me 1 second. I see. Other students, if you do not have questions, please leave the lab. I need to speak to 1 student privately. Thank you for your cooperation. We still have 1 student. Just wait patiently. Let me see where is my chart. Maybe I will open another link, material. I cannot force students to leave the class. Okay. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to see.
Okay. Well, I don't mind. I don't mind talking. I assume since they haven't left, they're not at their desk. I can just say it here. I don't really
I just have 1 student.
yeah, that's
Maybe
okay.
Give me 1 second. Okay, I'll remove that student. No, just you and me, so you can talk freely. Yeah.
So my question is, okay, so I study for every test we have. I do all the quizzes. I do well on the quizzes. I feel very, very confident going into the tests we have, like both tests we've had, test 1 and test 2. I've gotten, like, I do well on the quizzes. I watch all of your like lecture recordings over and over again, and I do notes. And then unfortunately, I fail the tests, which I can understand. Like, the purpose of the tests are they're not easy, and the wording is obviously worded differently to get me to think differently. So I don't know. I'm a little frustrated because it's like, so I failed both the tests. I got 25% on both of them. Does this mean I'm gonna fail the course? Like, is there other ways I can like pick up my mark?
No, doesn't mean you will fail the course. The reason is it is just test 1, test 2. We
Right.
have more important item final exam left,
Mhm.
and we have 10% case study. I
Mhm.
go out over those questions today.
Yep.
We have 2 more quizzes. So matter if you are willing to spend time and energy and effort, focus on quiz 9, quiz 10, case study final exam, you should be fine.
Okay, so there is a way for me. So even though I got 25% on both of the tests, there's still a way for me to pass the course.
On condition that you will do well on final exam, on case study, on the quizzes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I gotcha. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. So
I-
do
I
not
did-
worry too much. We cannot change test 1, change test 2, but we can change our attitude actions toward final exam, case study, and 2 quizzes.
Right. Okay, yeah. So I did the quiz today, actually, quiz 9, and I did well on it.
Wow.
Yeah, I do well on the quizzes. Like, I do all the quizzes, I do the homework, and I get it. I know what I'm doing. I actually do know what I'm doing. I feel very confident in the work. And then I guess the tests, because they're worded differently, it confuses me. And then I find it hard to differentiate what I'm supposed to do, which I'm gonna study more and harder, even though I do study a lot because I'm trying, but I'm gonna go over the textbook notes next time as well for test 3.
Sure. Study harder, middle, you will pass the course. No worries, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. By the way, where do you come from?
I'm part Japanese. Are you talking about my nationality?
Yes, I saw the last name like, maybe from Japan.
Yeah, I'm part Japanese. I'm not from there though. Like, I'm only quarter. I don't know very much I don't know Japanese at all, so I just have a very
Alright.
Japanese name.
So any other languages do you speak except English?
No, just English.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
thank you for
good.
your help.
Okay, study harder. Thanks for asking. Okay, you will be fine. Okay.
Okay, thank you, miss.
Okay, take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.